All right.
Welcome back, guys, to the pod. You might be experiencing a little bit of deja vu because right here we have the man, the myth, the legend, Brando.
I'm wearing the same clothes.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to ask you before, is that Brando hat? Like, is that merch?
It is. So
Nice.
this is my logo that my illustrator made.
Yeah,
Like I said, from Australia, and I
mm,
got it embroidered on a hat. I'll show you.
nice. That's actually really good quality. So,
Yeah, I'm really impressed by it.
do you plan on putting that out there as merch that people can buy?
Merch. Um, Maybe in the future. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know much about making merch and like brand
Mm.
collaborations and stuff. I still haven't even taken up a sponsor on my channel or anything like
Yeah.
that. So
Well, maybe we could talk
maybe in the
about that
future.
soon.
You know.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't
Yeah,
I didn't
sure.
prepare a question about sponsorships and stuff, but it's still an interesting topic. I mean, it's part of content creation.
Yeah,
But I think making
definitely.
merch is like I think it's one of the better ways to fund your like YouTube. It's
Yep.
not just advertising. It's like you get a physical product. You're still paying for something. You get it. Like I would wear that Brando hat. Not gonna lie. If only you had it out there already, then this would be the perfect time, right
Oh
at the
shit.
start of the video, to plug your merch.
Both repping our Brando hats.
I just
We'll get to it.
I get the face cam on and
One
I'm
day.
wearing one too. That'd be yeah.
That'd be so funny.
I thought about if I was ever to do merch. I don't think I'll do clothes, but I think I would do like a plush toy, like my like koala kind
I
of
want to do,
character.
bro. My biggest dream, and they're not gonna see this, but I really want to do a YouTube's collaboration, bro.
YouTube's,
I'm so
yeah.
excited.
What's up
Like
with YouTube's?
I'm hoping.
Is it like
So
because
I
I know
know.
that it's meant to be like YouTuber kind of toys or whatever, but they did the Plants vs Zombies one.
Yeah.
I'm not really in the loop. Are they like have they expanded from just YouTubers to like games in general?
So yeah, they started just like with the YouTuber faces and whatever else,
Yeah.
like iconic memes, I guess. But then they branched out to like brands that wanted to
Mm.
work with them. Like I can't name off the top of my head, but like a lot of the gaming space and like even movies and stuff and series
Yeah.
is they've kind of just become a big empire for figurines, for icons in media and in real life.
Mm.
And it's one of the easiest ways you can make merch as a creator and still, give, I guess,
Well, I don't
merchandise
know
to
if
your
it's
fans that
easy.
support
Like
you.
obviously I haven't made merch or anything, but I imagine it would still be like
No, no.
a little bit of a hassle.
There
Like
is like a design process
yeah,
and
like
stuff, but like they
communicating
do
with
all the back end.
manufacturers and designing and stuff. Although there's probably like the way people probably do it is there's probably like businesses that like specialize in that kind of stuff. Like you get in contact with them and then you talk about the merch, you make it. Anyway, I'm not a fashion channel. You're not a fashion channel, but we are still channels nonetheless, and that's what we're going to be talking about
Correct.
in this part of the video. Um,
Correct.
so your videos are very well edited. I know I've said that a lot,
Appreciate
and
that.
I won't stop saying it. How and when did you learn the art of editing?
Probably started. Well, it depends really because like a lot of my expertise, shall we say, comes from DaVinci Resolve, but I technically started editing even before that. Like it's probably 7 years ago. I probably started editing, but like the concept of editing, like
How old are
on
you, by the way?
iMovie, like putting. How am I now?
Yeah,
20.
20. Okay, so you're 13.
Yep.
Yep.
So I always loved videography and editing and stuff, and I feel like starting on iMovie is what like where I began. I only had a phone and a console, so I couldn't really upload anything else. I always wanted to be
Yep.
a creator, but I had to know how to like make good content.
Mm-hmm.
So I edited on iMovie. I played Fortnite to start out with because I was addicted to that game as a kid, and
Weren't we all?
yeah, exactly. And even through iMovie, the shit I managed to pull off, like through cinematic transitions, audio cuts, it seemed like I edited it like, using PC software. Like my friends were impressed because it had like voiceover and stuff. This is all through iMovie, so I don't know how I did that shit, but I made like creative map reviews and stuff, and
Mm.
like I don't know, a lot of heart and soul into that. I don't know if those are still out there on the internet because either I deleted the channel or I made a new channel. I don't know. So
Yeah, I
they
think
might still exist, but
that's definitely
I don't know.
something that is very tied to content creation. It's like you watch these YouTubers and everything, but I'd say 99% of the time, big YouTubers, it's not their first channel.
Correct.
They've been
This is
trying
my
to make
third.
it. Yeah, like I don't even remember all the channels I had. I had so many channels before I made my channel or the current channel. I've been doing
Yeah.
YouTube in some way or form since like I think 2015. I was like 10 years old, and I was
Right.
begging my parents for me to get a YouTube because all my friends had one, and I was like,
Right.
"Thank you, friends, because if you didn't all have YouTube channels, I might not even be here." But when you
Right.
were young, well, actually, okay, I've gone on so many tangents, but I'll just like I can't remember the one I was just on. So if it's not
Okay.
important, if I don't remember, it mustn't be important. But when you were
Yep.
young,
Okay.
did you? Because you started editing at a really young age. You said about the iMovie and stuff. You were like really into it. You wanted to
Yep.
be a creator. When you were like really
Yes, sir.
young, did you think like I want to be a YouTuber? Like I think a lot of young people these days think that, but it's
They
just
do.
because
Yeah.
I relate to that because when I was young, I didn't learn editing until I was like 15 or something. But when I was really young, like 7 or something, and I had a bunch of Plants vs Zombies plush toys, I watched this one YouTuber called Luigi Fan. I think it's like Luigi Fan
Yep.
0001 or something. And
Yep.
Luigi Fan had this Plants vs Zombies plush like showcasing their collection, and I loved that video so much as a kid that I lined up all of
I've
my
watched
Plants
that
vs
as a
Zombies
kid. Yeah.
plushes, even though my collection was nowhere near as good as Luigi Fan's. Probably had
I
like
forgot
5 of
about
them.
that era.
Yeah, and
That's so
I lined
funny.
them up and I got my mom's phone and I just recorded a fake YouTube video. I was like, hey guys, subscribe and everything, even though I had no channel. I was only like 7, but
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, it's just crazy how you wouldn't, it's like, you got to go below the surface to actually know this, but a lot of content creators, the reason they're so good at making content and the reason they got big is because they've been honing those skills for so many years. And a lot of people
Correct.
say YouTube, I want your opinion on this as well. A lot of people say
Okay.
YouTube is luck. And it's like, in my opinion, what I was just talking about kind of disproves that. There is a bit of luck involved, but it's not, it's
Yeah.
very rare that people make their first channel and in like a few months they're like famous and everything. It's like, no, people try for years and years. Like, you've been editing since you were 13. I've been making YouTube videos and channels since I was like 10. And it's like, over
Yep.
time, you hone those skills to an extent that it's almost inevitable that you're going to go somewhere. To what extent? It's like, I don't know, but what are your thoughts on
Yeah.
that?
You are right. I mean, especially with like the whole every kid nowadays wants to be a creator and stuff,
Yeah.
but there is an element of luck, whatever. I don't know, man. I feel like there is so much that goes into a YouTube video success, right?
Mm.
And I've not only just learned that in the past years of doing YouTube on my Brando channel,
Yeah.
but also in the last months.
Mm.
Like, to the degree that of success I have now, there has been such a shift in what I've learnt compared to the past years and years of experience to like literally the last few months. It's insane. Like the amount you don't consider that is an impact. My brother's calling me. Sorry, man. One sec.
No, it's all right.
I'll
We were
read that
talking
last part.
about the success of YouTube channels, and you were just saying that your channel, you've learnt a lot of what kind of goes into the formula for success on YouTube recently. So yeah,
Yeah,
I'm interested
correct.
to find out what specifically you've been learning recently, because very different
As
experience
of
to me.
recent, um, as of recently, obviously, like I've mainly been doing PVZ content,
Mm.
but even just through that, like seeing my older PVZ content, I say older, it's only a few months old, but my
Yeah,
like
well, with the rate your
older
channel's going,
PVZ,
it is pretty old now
yeah,
because you're just going crazy.
exactly. Like the older PVZ content compared to what I'm doing as of currently, that like to me, I see such a difference. Like to the average viewer, they might just see it as a regular video, but like so many factors play into it, like mic quality, camera
Oh
quality,
yeah.
retention editing, uh, introductory, like intro, first 15 seconds, like the title, thumbnail, SEO. There is so much that plays into it, and I feel like in all those different aspects, I've gotten better at that
Yeah.
just through PVZ. Like I feel like with that knowledge, I can probably move into a different niche and I'd still be okay because of how much I've learned the
Yeah.
last couple months alone, let alone the other 5 years.
Mm.
But yeah.
Yeah, we'll get more into your future plans later.
Mm.
That's interesting you say that about like the hardware and stuff because that's also something I've learned recently as well. For ages, I just neglected that kind of stuff and I just thought like Who cares? Like, I'll just use my phone and stuff. But so many people commenting stuff like, my right ear really enjoyed this video and stuff. And I thought, okay, maybe I should invest in like a better microphone. I bought like $100 microphone, and it made my quality at least twice as good in my videos. And it's like, if you're
Yeah.
if you're out there and you're an aspiring content creator, one of the best things you can invest in is a good microphone. It doesn't cost that much
Yep.
for the ratio that it improves the quality of your content. It's like, I don't know, it was a no-brainer, and I can't believe I neglected it for that long. I mean, I see you've got a lot of like good hardware and everything. Like, your camera
Yeah.
quality is crisp and everything. I probably look like a bunch of pixels moving around right now. Um,
Well, it's just, it's learning what works.
mm,
A lot of like not investment, but like time investment, really learning what's good. Like, for example, the Go XLR I have over here, that's not my first mixer. I have
so it's
this
like an audio mixer.
Focusrite.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's
so
crazy.
that's not my, this is my, I bought this like 2 months ago, and I've already upgraded to the next one because I'm learning what works and what doesn't. Obviously,
Mm.
here I've got the SM7B, but like a couple months ago, I was using this, I don't even know what the HyperX thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
People will recognize this, but like literally in the last few months, I've like gone through so many different pieces of equipment, not only to like learn how to use it, but like also it's an increasing quality, it's an improvement.
Yeah.
Like it's how
And maybe
fast
some
things are
people like
going for me
certain,
personally. But
yeah, well, some people might like certain types of hardware and other people won't. I mean, I'm
yeah,
really amazed by the audio mixer. Like, I just assumed people who made
yeah,
music and stuff would have those. Like, I never realized you're very well researched in this, in the quality of your videos and everything. Let's just say, okay, so let's say I'm asking for a friend, like for a friend, what are your
okay.
best editing tips that you could give to other YouTubers
Mm.
to make your editing process better or more efficient?
See, that's always been a tricky question because I myself have gone through a lot of editing phases.
Mm.
I'm a very good editor in the fact that I know how to replicate a lot of styles. The idea of retention editing though is such a
Is that like
interesting
audience
concept
retention?
because yes,
Yeah.
so like editing to keep the viewer
I think
entertained
you
is
you do a very
retention
good job of
editing.
that in particular with like all the subtitles popping
Yeah,
up and like things to keep people engaged. That's like
well,
very important in this day
that
and age.
style that style of editing took a while to realize that's how I want to edit, you know what I
Mm.
mean? And that's what's working for my channel. However, that style is like obviously not new. That has been heavily inspired by my favorite content creator, a guy called Kadikarus. He's a
Okay.
British content creator that
I've
makes like
I
heard of
don't think
him,
I've seen
kind
any of
of.
their stuff. But
So
you're
he's
saying?
got like 1 million subs.
Mm.
He like makes very long videos, like over an hour, like the wacky world of PS1 games,
Yeah.
the crazy world of the Crash Bandicoot. Very long games, like very long videos, like over an hour, sometimes 2 hours. But in that length of video, picture my editing, but in his video. Maybe it's not to that crazy of a degree, but all of my humor and like my ideas for like jokes comes from him. Like he is my favorite content creator. He is what inspired me to like do editing in his sort of style because
Mm.
he's so random. He's unpredictable. He like what I find crazy because I've tried to tell this to as many people as can. He's made one of his like typical long form videos over an hour long on how he makes his content. Like a video, it's like breaking the fourth wall. It's like a video filled with jokes, but explaining how he makes content. It's crazy, like that, like fourth wall level of breaking. Like he's able to make content on making content, but
Mm.
it's still funny. It's so impressive. If people want to know
That's
how I edit or how I like do stuff, it's all through him.
that's
Like
yeah. Well, I mean,
obviously,
that's great you brought it up because that was like word for word a question I was going to ask you later in this segment.
yeah,
Who were your
yeah.
biggest inspirations on your content? But you just answered that now, so that's great. Do you have any other, maybe not related to editing, but do you have any other YouTubers who you've looked up to or think really inspired your content outside of the world of editing? Like maybe some of your video ideas or your like personality or anything?
Uh, I think my favorite creator, like for a while before being introduced to Kadikarus, was Markiplier,
Yep,
just because of
Markiplier's
how
a classic.
like yeah, how uncaring he is as a creator, which is
Mm.
like a weird thing to say, but it's like it's how he doesn't do things for other people, if that makes sense. He
Yeah, I
does things
mean,
for
when I'm watching his
himself.
content, he's really like laid back, like really monotone. Like I think my
He's
voice is pretty
naturally
monotone,
funny.
but
Yeah.
it's not
Yeah.
because I'm like trying to be like really lax like Markiplier. My voice is just naturally like this. But yeah, you were saying
Yeah.
about Markiplier.
Yeah, just the fact that like he does what he wants, and if people find that interesting, they'll watch the video.
Mm.
And he's like been around for so long, he's still like has that audience connection where like he can make what he wants and people will watch it. Like
Yeah,
no shade to the other big creators, the original top three, him, Jacksepticeye, and PewDiePie. It seems like Markiplier still has the most relevance in modern YouTube because of how different he is.
yeah.
How like he's not following trends. He's not doing it for a different. He's just him, and it works. I mean,
I think
a great
PewDiePie's
example,
also left a pretty big mark in that way as well. Like
definitely.
I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
PewDiePie stepped back from like full time making content, and it's kind of like being more relaxed about it and like making vlogs with his family and stuff, and completely different to what he used to do. But people will still watch
yeah,
him because it's PewDiePie. Like you want to keep up to date with PewDiePie's life. Like you still care. You develop this kind of like parasocial bond with creators sometimes.
yeah,
I think, yeah, maybe
yeah,
that's part of the
definitely.
reason why you like Markiplier.
Probably, yeah. I'm not gonna be honest, but yeah, probably, yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, Markiplier's Five Nights at Freddy's content is like peak YouTube. That's like, if you haven't watched Markiplier play Five Nights at Freddy's, do that now.
I didn't even watch that saga of.
Really?
I got into Markiplier after FNAF. Like
Okay.
I
You
wasn't
have
even
to watch it.
invested in like the FNAF phase.
I mean, I guess if you
I
don't
just have a
like Five
thing for
Nights at
like
Freddy's.
I like FNAF a lot. I am
Hmm.
quite invested in it, but obviously I've made 3 videos on it before if people didn't know that already. But I don't know. I feel like I've got this weird thing about like watching old content. It kind of like it brings this like wave of nostalgia over me. It's like I don't know. I don't like the feeling. I like watching stuff that's current, up to date type of stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like people's projects that they're currently making and stuff.
Yeah, well, you said you don't like watching your own old videos, and it's like, I don't know, maybe that ties
Exactly.
into that
Yeah.
as
It's a
well.
weird philosophy, but yeah.
Yeah. So here's a fun fact: we made our
Okay.
channels 6 days apart. You made
Really?
your channel on the 17th of August 2021. See, I came prepared. I got my notes and everything. And
Do
I
your
started
research, yeah.
mine on the 23rd of August 2021. So you've been around longer than I have on the current
Wow.
channels.
On this
So
current, yeah.
on that fateful day in August of 2021, why did you make the Brando channel?
Oh, now the questions are getting tough. um, I think so. Just before making that channel, I was running a different channel, that I will not name because I don't want people to find it.
Yeah, I
But
understand that. I'm never going to say any of my old channel names, but yeah.
but it was a channel I ran with my friend, and we did glow edits. Um, the concept of like taking a rap dance music video TikTok thing and putting glowy line effects over it. That was my first editing skill, making like, animated line spirals go across all the screen.
Yeah.
People will like know what I'm talking about if they've watched like very early Lyrical Lemonade or like those rap channels where like, that type of editing was very popular. And I
Hopefully
learned that
future
because I
me
was
will
so
pop up
fascinated.
like a clip of that stuff so the
Yeah,
audience can
like
kind of
the
visualize
whole.
it. Yeah.
I can send you one of my own clips.
That'd be
'Cause
great.
obviously, I won't share the channel. But yeah, like it was such an interesting and fascinating effect. I wanted to learn it so bad, and that was kind of what started my, I guess, passion for
Mm.
learning new editing skills and stuff. Like especially with DaVinci, like that's when I started like getting serious into editing because I want to know how to do everything. I want to know how to throw myself out of the screen while not actually having to move. I want to be able to like make random motion graphics. My fucking head explode. Crazy ass stupid shit. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm still learning to this day through Blender and my 3D scenes in
Mm.
my videos and stuff. Like
I mean,
I just love learning how to make stuff.
yeah, the editing it's an art and it can be really beautiful and you can get inspired by it like ukulele have.
Yeah.
The next question was going to be, has any particular YouTubers rubbed off on your content and everything? But we've already been over that. Was that in the
Yeah.
last episode or this episode?
Probably by accident. I don't know.
Okay, well, if it was
Maybe.
the first one, this is the plug for the first episode. Go back and watch that if you haven't.
Yes.
So this is another deep one. I know I'm asking really hard questions, but
Are you good?
we're digging deep for this episode. What's your
Sure.
what's been your favorite part of making content? Like, what's your favorite part of being an influencer? I don't know if you like the term influencer. I personally don't. I just like YouTuber, but
I
what's been
like,
your
yeah,
favorite part?
YouTuber content creator. Probably the community. Having that crowd that supports the work you do through, your comment section, Discord community, even through, my Patreon. Um, Having those outlets where you can just talk to your community and, read their feedback and the support and, appreciation for what you do. It's really a motivation booster and helps me keep going because it's like I don't know how to explain it. Like this community really cares about my craft and like the content I make, and that's what I've been striving for years. And I could just never find that type of audience that was interested. It was only like a few positive comments here and there, but to where now I can publish content and almost be certain that same crowd of people will watch it. It's like it means a lot to me, and I
Yeah.
appreciate all my fans for still being around today to watch it.
Yeah, I mean it's very like you can't really beat the feeling of making a video and the reception is just so good. Like everyone's like, I love this video. Like please make a sequel to this and
Yeah.
everything. It's like we were talking about money before, and it's like money. I know people say this a lot. Money can't buy you happiness, but it's like I was saying
Yeah.
before as well. There's a kind of like when you're growing your YouTube channel, there's two like major motivations: money and like what you're saying right now, community and building an audience and everything. And it's like the audience really is everything. Like no audience, no money, no motivation because no one's watching your content. Although that hasn't
Yeah.
stopped people in the past, that hasn't stopped us from our very numerous attempts at starting up channels. Um,
Exactly.
it's very heartwarming, yeah, and fostering that kind of community. That's like you can make money doing any job. You could just go be a plumber and make 100 grand. Maybe that's just in Australia, but
Yeah.
you can't. Content creation is one of the only jobs that isn't like I don't know being a celebrity. Although I guess it could kind of count as being a celebrity. It's like the only job where you create a following and you make a legacy. You make a name for yourself. Sure, like
Yeah.
we're not making like millions of dollars or anything. We're not like driving Lamborghinis
Oh
around.
yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if you have one parked in your garage right now. For all I know, you do.
Okay.
But
Right.
it's like no matter how rich you are, you
Yep.
it's you're still missing. I mean, well, not every rich person, but a lot of rich people are also very lonely, and it's like
Mm.
a lot of people in very hard jobs where you need a lot of education and
Yep.
stuff, like neurosurgeons and stuff. They spend their whole life grinding away to get more money. That they end up just money is their only friend, and it's like when
Yep.
you're a
They have no one
YouTuber,
to spend it on.
you're grinding away making content partially for money, but also you have that audience following you along the way. You're never, okay, I'll ask you this as well, tying into the loneliness stuff.
Okay.
It's like,
Yeah.
I find content creation sometimes, even though you have a massive audience and everything, it's not the same as in person. And it's like sometimes creating content can get pretty
Yep.
lonely as a job. Do you find that
Yeah.
as well?
To a degree. Yeah. I mean, I think I'm not saying this is for you or for anybody else, but my community, I don't just see them as numbers.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
every positive comment and like on the video kind of emphasizes how popular I am to a degree, or like how much support
Yeah.
I'm
How many of
getting
your
through my
how
fans.
many of your comments do you read?
Like pretty much all of them.
Really? Because I find it so hard.
Yeah.
Like, you get to a point where it's like, I can't keep up with these anymore. I'm just going to read like the top ones and everything. But no, I really respect that. If you're
Yeah.
like going
Like,
all the way.
you like the proof is in my videos, because like even in Big Wave Beach, there was 2 segments where I pulled up like 50 different comments
Yeah.
where like people were talking about the same thing, and like that's because like I see it so often. It's like I made it a point in the video for the script, because like how often I'm seeing it. It's kind of funny.
Mm. Yeah. And it's just a massive part of content creation is being involved with your community and everything. Like, I did in my one lane part 3, I think, challenge video. I think I told you about this. because you're getting stuck on a certain well, I think which level was it? This for certain isn't going to be uploaded until after you've made your finale video, but so people watching
Yeah.
this right now would have already seen that video. We're in the
Yeah.
future right now. What level was it again? Modern day something?
Modern day 30.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I got stuck on that level, and I thought, okay, well, I can't do it. What if someone else could? So when
Yeah.
I made a community post, I was like, you guys get involved with the challenge. Like, I'm signing out here. I can't do this. And people,
Yeah.
it was like so satisfying to do something like that and getting submissions, and that changed the course of my video and everything. Like, it felt like we beat the challenge. It didn't feel like I beat the challenge.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Exactly.
when you have a challenge like yours with the Garden Warfare, well, the beating Plants vs Zombies 2 with only Garden Warfare plants, go watch that as well. That's a really, really good series, if I do say so myself. It's when you have so many people commenting and following the journey and everything, it feels less like a series of videos and more like a collective kind of adventure. And
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I mean, yeah, I completely agree with you. Like, community is, it's probably also my favorite part of making content as well.
Yeah.
As well as watching the sub count go up. That's
Yeah,
okay.
of course.
Obviously
I
not
mean,
as much
no
as
one can-
community, but I was half joking. But like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I sometimes I look
In
at
a
my
way,
analytics
it's
a
just
bit
you're
too
watching
much.
your community grow. So
Yeah, well,
it's not a bad
again,
thing.
it's not all about numbers and everything, but you're still watching like the quantity of your community increase, more
Yeah.
people. It can
Yeah.
be really hard. Sometimes you just lose sight of the fact that like you have what is it, 77,000 subs you have, I think.
Someone I don't know. I think so.
Exactly. Sometimes like you don't know, you lose sight of that because there's so many people that it's hard to comprehend. Like, that's a football stadium. You have like a
Yeah.
football stadium of subs. And it's like,
That is crazy.
when it's just a number on the screen, it doesn't feel as significant. But when you think about it like that, it's like, it's really rewarding, like we've been talking about.
Yeah.
This is a pretty generic one, but what's your favorite
Okay.
hobby or activity outside of YouTube?
Does editing count?
I mean, yeah,
I
I
just
mean,
say editing, or is it? Because
The-
that is pretty much all. I mean, apart obviously, I do work out as well. Like, I work out
Yeah.
pretty religiously, like every 2 days or something, and like a cool workout every single day.
mm,
But
How long have you
apart
been
from
doing that for?
exercise, probably a year now.
Nice.
A year like consistent, no
Mm.
breaks.
Yeah,
and, my
that's
physique's
really
looking
good.
really good.
Yeah.
I'm really happy with like my progress.
I've
But
been going to the
apart from that,
gym, but like it's really on and off. Like right
Yeah.
now I'm not, but I'm envious of you. Like I need the discipline to go in regularly. Like I'm very skinny in real life. Like I don't know if you can see this. Like arm reveal. Let's go. It's like
hold
I'm
on, let me get my arm out.
okay. I'm about to get
Arm reveal
completely
time.
mogged by Brando right now.
Let's see. I haven't eaten that much today, so let's see.
I think I might as well just delete my channel out of shame right now. That's. I mean, I could kind of like flex a
Yeah,
little
you got
bit.
some
but it's
muscle
like,
there. You got some
yeah,
muscle.
I guess it looks more than it actually is, because I was about to say I'm very skinny, and I was like 55 kilograms before I started going to the gym, and then when I
Yeah,
started,
same
'cause
actually. Yeah.
I just figured like if I can't put on weight eating food and getting fat, like fat as in like not being fat, but like the chemical fat. If I
Yeah.
can't put on weight with fat, I should try putting on weight with muscle, and it worked. I went up from 55, which I'd been stuck at for ages, to 60 kilograms. And since I quit the
That's
gym, I
good.
haven't gone up from 60 kilograms, but I think my BMI is still a little bit unhealthy. I'm sure your BMI is very
Right.
healthy.
I mean, I'm not like the heaviest guy. I mean, I'm pretty light. The only reason I look so lean and in shape is because my weight is so low. So there's not much to like fat to convert, if you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
if I want to have like a big broad physique, I need to like, eat more. But that's been a struggle. So whole
When
different thing. But yeah.
I'm interested. When you go to the gym, what do you do? Like, do you obviously like you work out and everything, but apart from that, like, do you
Yeah.
listen to music? Do you drink protein shake and stuff?
Well, I've got a home gym. Like, I just go downstairs.
Oh, okay, nice, yeah.
I converted my garage into a space where I can work out, and
That would save you a lot of money. Like gyms are getting expensive these
Yeah.
days.
Exactly. Probably like the main thing. I sometimes take a pre-workout. That's been proven to like do crazy like fucking like performance ability to your
Yeah.
body. Like it's such a perk to use. Um,
You're not on
obviously
steroids, right?
natural, nothing crazy. No,
Okay,
no,
yeah.
no, no,
Okay, yeah.
nothing like that. No, I
Do
mean
you take
I just don't
creatine?
care enough. Tried it.
Yeah.
It's just very hard to stay on top of, and it tastes really bad. So
Right.
I just
Well,
couldn't. That is also like a natural supplement, but I don't like the taste.
yeah.
It's so bad.
When I used to go to the gym, I used to have protein shakes that had creatine in them, so I didn't really like taste the creatine outright. But
Yeah,
um, it's what I was really interested in. Do you listen to music when you're working out?
yeah, I do.
I found that I had a little bit of a problem with that because I would listen to certain songs when I was working out, and then when I listened to them when I wasn't working out, it was like, okay, this song's come up and I'm listening to it, and it's like, wow, I kind of ruined this song because it just reminds me of the gym now, and it reminds me of my legs being in complete agony on leg day. And it's like, I don't know, it's then again, what else are you gonna do? Just like raw dog the gym, no music, no pre-workout,
I
nothing.
could never, bro. That's so boring.
My friends kind of found it weird that I mixed my shake in water. Like I think people usually mix it in milk or something, but I don't know.
Protein shake with water. I mean, it's been done before, but yeah, not for me.
Yeah, I think I don't think we've touched on this actually. What's your favorite video you've made? It's kind of hard because sometimes when you're a content creator, it's like they're like your children, you know. It's like picking a favorite child.
This is a surprising answer. I've actually got one. It's an old video, shockingly, as much as I hate them, but it's got to be my 40-minute long Brando versus Portugal video where I went on holiday with my family and I edited it like one of my normal videos. And I love watching. My family loves that video. I watched that video myself.
Oh, your family watches your videos?
I don't know. They love it. My mum
Nice.
fully supports what I do. Like
Yeah.
she loves it. But like when she saw that video, she couldn't stop laughing because of how much stupid shit happens in it. Like I took our family holiday and converted it into like a video that we can cherish forever and watch, and like as a memory, like a visual memory that we can't forget because I've encapsulated it in a video on YouTube.
Yeah.
And I didn't care about the views or anything. I just wanted to show my family, and everyone loved it. And that's the only one of my videos that like has public people in it that I don't want to take down. Like, because like a lot of my videos are now unlisted now because of my scale. I just can't bring myself to take that video down because I love it too much, and my family love watching it.
Just before I get more into that video, I think there's a bit of a conception that like YouTubers' favorite videos would be the videos that have the most views, but like you've just said, it's often the videos where you have the most personal connection to them. Like the videos where you put the most of you in it. And it's like that definitely. I can see how that video would be very special to you because it's like Plants vs Zombies, just that's PopCap's thing and everything. My family, that's like me. How was Portugal? I haven't seen the video unfortunately, but how was Portugal?
No, you're good. We was there for a while. I think it was 2 weeks, and I filmed most days, which hence why it's 40 minutes long. But when I was there, I was like a different person. Like normally, I'm quite introverted. I love social like interaction and stuff. I love speaking to people I haven't met. But typically, I don't just go out and speak to random people in the street. So I'm introverted in that aspect. But on camera, I like transform into a different person. Like a whole different personality comes out. Like the personality that people would want to watch on camera. Around this time, I didn't have a lot of subs either. So I wasn't even doing it for my current fans. I was just doing it because it felt right. Like I was putting on this persona that felt more comfortable on camera, as if like the normal me wouldn't be able to handle that. But for some reason, Brando was able to, go on camera and do all this goofy, silly shit, like interview random people in the street. I was doing all sorts of crazy shit in that video. I think at one point we nearly got kicked out of water park because like my cousin went to like interview like one of the mascots and just asking him stupid political questions, and he's like dressed up as like a Paw Patrol dog. And like they said, stop recording us. You have to stop. I was like, we had 3 different camera angles in that video, like different angles of like this. Yeah, bro. Like this is what I mean. My production's always been high, no matter what equipment I have. I just love like recording stuff because everyone in that video, all those strangers, I'm never going to see them again for the rest of my life. But having that like moment captured on camera, I can always look back and be like, I met that person. This is what I said. But if none of it was captured, there's no proof I met that person. I'm like, I'm never going to see him again. So why should it matter? Like that's my energy going into these videos.
Yeah, well, that's really wholesome. Do you speak Spanish, or were you just there like
No.
knowing a few words? Okay.
I knew a few words and then just I kind of just put on an accent and said it in English anyway, which made the video pretty funny.
Mm.
Because like there was one part where we went to the top of Portugal, the highest point where like it has quite a low amount of oxygen or whatever, because like it's quite tall,
Yeah.
and we were struggling to breathe a little bit because science, I don't know. And there was a Mercedes event at the top of the Portugal, I don't know. And there was Mercedes trucks and all this stuff, and they were giving out free Mercedes Benz hats like with the logo, and I
Yeah.
really wanted one. So during the video, I was running around going to random people asking about Mercedes hats, and none of them knew what I was talking about. But it made it so entertaining because like I was like trying to speak their language when they didn't know what was going on, and their reactions to like a foreign person with a camera, like speaking English, is like you don't know what's gonna happen, and that's like what makes
Yeah.
like the moment so special because like it's so unpredictable. Like I wasn't even streaming or anything. Like that's the kind of like what content is nowadays. Like unexpected moments happening live that could be
Yeah, like
clipped. But
IRL
a few
streams and
years
stuff.
ago,
Yeah.
exactly. But a few years ago, I was just thinking this could be funny to record as a YouTube
Mm.
video. So yeah, that was my whole thing going into it.
Well, I guess the natural question to ask next is, should we expect some Brando IRL streams?
IRL streams, I don't know about. Streams
Yeah.
here, yes,
Yeah.
because that's why most of this has even been bought in the first place.
Do you
It wouldn't
stream
make sense
much?
not to stream. I haven't streamed ever. Maybe
Okay.
once, like an old channel,
Mm.
but now, like I've got I say a team, but like people have reached out like to make stuff for me. Like I've got a Be Right Back screen made by shout out G_guy, the fucking PVZ animator
Oh,
legend.
yeah, I know
No
Giga,
one's
yeah.
seen that yet. So funny story with him. I reached out to him, I was like, bro, can you make me like a Be Right Back screen or something? Or like, can I pay you? Da, da, da. And he was like, I don't take commissions, but because I like your content, this is a one-time thing.
Wow.
So he made me like my own G_guy Be Right Back screen, and it's fucking incredible. I'll show
That's
you after
amazing.
this, but no
Okay.
spoilers. No
Yeah.
spoilers for anybody else, so they get to see it on the stream. But I'm
That's.
so happy with that.
I didn't know G Guy didn't take
amazing.
commissions because I'm pretty sure
doesn't.
Wolfie plays. I think Wolfie's logo and everything. I think like his little character and
Yeah.
everything. I think it looks like it was made by G Guy. I'm not
I
certain
think, yeah, I
about
did
that,
see
but
that, but I
if
think
you
that
did
was
that for
another,
free,
like,
like
a
respect.
one-off thing.
Yeah.
I did have to pay him. I will admit. Like I wanted to pay him because like
Oh, okay.
you know,
It
I
was because
thinking
you wanted
he
to.
had
not-
projects on the side.
Yeah.
Like he deserved it, and I think I even gave him a little bit of a tip on top of that because
That's
he just
nice.
did a fantastic job. So,
Is
yeah, no, I can't fault him.
sorry for going on a tangent, but are tips are tips like a thing in Britain, or is that just America? Because I always hear about this
America.
American stuff, like you go to a fast food place and you got to
Tipping
leave
culture
like
in
a
America is
20%
crazy.
tip or something.
It's almost mandatory over there because
Yeah.
the employers are not paying their employees enough to where they
Yeah.
have to live off tips.
That's
That
what's
is
so
kinda how it
irritating me.
works.
It's like, why are you taking money from everyday consumers who are objectively going to be poorer than the business owners? The business owners should just be paying their employees more.
Yeah.
I was going to ask about how you went to Portugal and stuff. Which countries have you been to?
I can't even remember, bro. I've probably been to a lot, but I was so young. I can't like
Right.
I've been to well,
I know.
some of
Well, you've been
England,
in Africa,
but
obviously. Although
yeah,
that's
but
the
like
continent.
parts like South Africa,
Mm.
Zimbabwe. I think I've been to Mozambique, and then we got rural places like Spain, Portugal, France,
Mm.
Egypt when I was really young.
Wow.
Just quite European, African areas. Nowhere that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, kind of like the old world, not the new world.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the new world's like America, South America, Australia. The thing about living in Australia, it's like I've been on holidays, but it costs so much to go anywhere because we're so far away from everyone else. So it's like if I want to go to, I don't know, what if I want to go on a holiday to the UK, like London or something? It's like it's thousands of dollars to fly out there. It's a more than 24-hour plane trip, and it's like it's a massive commitment. Whereas I'm assuming you could just be like, okay, I'll go on this holiday, like not that expensive, like doesn't take up that much time.
It's not as, exactly.
So I've only been to Australia, New Zealand, and Indonesia.
Yep.
And you can kind of see how that turns out because it's all like Southern Asian or like Australian continent. It's like, I don't know. I just wish that I was closer to all that stuff. Because another thing is, living in Britain, you have all this really old architecture and stuff, like thousands of years old. And in
Yep.
Australia, it was colonized like I think I think the year they got here was 1788. I If I'm wrong about that, let me know in the comments. I might just be a fake Australian. Well, some people say Australia's not even real. So and it's like all the
Right.
architecture here and all the like built environment and everything. It's all very new compared to Europe, where it's all like thousands of years. Like the Middle East and Africa, that's like where civilization was born, kind of, or like Western
Yep.
civilization. What was your favorite country to go to out of all those?
Probably Spain. Think I went on a trip to Spain with my best friend, and we went there for a week, and it was so fun. I
Mm.
was planning to document it and do Brando versus Spain, but at this point, like, it'd already been like a year and a bit since the last Portugal video, and I've been making proper content, let's say, like for my fans, and like what trying to
Mm.
make it like more serious. I wasn't going to plan to do a vlog, and that was actually a good thing because we really enjoyed the holiday of just doing nothing, like being like by the poolside and going on these Spanish trips and eating Spanish. It was amazing. Like, yeah, I can't fault that trip. It was amazing.
That sounds great. I mean, the most I've kind of interacted with Spanish culture is I learnt a little bit of Spanish on Duolingo because I wanted to go to South America, but it's getting
Yeah.
a little bit too dangerous for me, I think. If you had to, I mean, which country do you think you would go to next?
I
Like,
want to
if you
go
could
to
go on a
Canada
holiday,
at some point.
Canada, okay.
Canada would be awesome.
Why Canada and not
Just
America?
it just seems like the safer version of
That's
America.
true. Yeah,
It sounds stupid to say, but I don't know. Like the stereotype of just like everyone in Canada being nice just
mm.
sounds pretty cool. And
Yeah,
I feel like I'd adjust to the weather too. I wouldn't mind it being really cold. I think that'd be really cool. Yeah,
yeah.
America, I don't know. I do want to go at some point, but again, just it seems scary in America. You know what I mean? I feel more safe in England compared to over
Yeah.
there.
I
Anything could
mean,
happen. I don't know.
I don't know if you have the same kind of stereotype in the UK, but here in Australia, there's a massive stereotype of like, if you go to America, you're stepping out the plane and you're getting shot. I don't know. I think America's still a safe place. Like, you can go there without worrying about being shot, but it's
Oh
infinitely more
yeah,
of a possibility than if you went to
it's
somewhere
just a
like
higher
Canada.
risk and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And especially UK, in the UK, you don't have like problems with guns or anything, right?
Guns don't exist here. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure. I mean, like anything like that is contraband, and like even if you was selling it, like you would get done. Like it's impossible to even find a gun here. Like
Mm.
you wouldn't. They do exist, but like I find it funny because like the only depictions we ever see of guns, especially in TV, is like these old like industrial weapons because that's all we have for guns. We don't have like real guns here. They don't
Yeah.
exist really. There's more
Well,
knife crime and stuff, but that's like in like
oh yeah,
scarier
is
areas of
it
the UK.
really bad there? Because that's another stereotype in Australia. It's like America, a bunch of guns, London and stuff, a bunch of knives.
It really depends where you live. I mean,
Mm.
London maybe. I don't. I've only been to London a few times, but like I live in an area where there's just a lot of old people, like where people
Yeah,
retire. So very
I'm
safe
exactly the
area.
same right
Yeah.
now. So, okay, this is gonna be the interesting part where I get into your really old content.
Okay.
So from what I could tell, you started out doing a lot of different videos, like Fortnite and
Correct.
variety content and a few video essays.
Correct.
Um,
Yep.
I wasn't watching you back then, but from what I could dig up, it seems like your video essay on twomad did quite well. And it was kind of,
Yep.
I don't know if you probably have a bunch of unlisted videos, so this could be wrong, but from what I could see, that's kind of like your first breakthrough video. And
Yeah.
it pushed you over the 1K sub milestone, if I'm not wrong.
Yep.
How did it feel watching that video blow up?
It was weird, to say the least. I think like it was so confusing, but also rewarding because like I felt like I've made it. I'm now a
Mm.
YouTuber all of a sudden, and at that point I still knew nothing about the algorithm and anything about like how videos are successful. I just like I knew I liked editing and like I liked that video was probably inspired by Sunny V2 at the time or something like
Yeah.
that. But like I had a real kicker for like just incorporating other people's styles into my videos just to see if I could, jump on the bandwagon of like whatever else was trending at the time. So when that video came out, and I saw it doing numbers. I didn't know this at the time, but looking back now, the only reason they did well was because twomad was trending at that time. I don't know what for, just for some stupid shit probably.
Yeah, well, I mean,
But
he got up to so
I
much stupid shit.
yeah, but at that time he wasn't too controversial. Let's just say that.
Mm.
I really found him funny, and like he was another like person who like kind of stemmed or like made my humor the way it is today. Because like he was pretty batshit insane,
His
but
videos were
some of the
also
stuff he
very
did,
hyper edited as well, weren't they?
yeah. In all honesty, like the person who like first introduced me to like crazy editing was him. Because my
Mm.
Nerf Overwatch video was the first like over edited crazy edit that I've done, and that was fully from him, like inspired by him. And because he was trending at the time, obviously that video did well. And when I tried to recreate that sort of success with my next video, it was for somebody who was a lot smaller and wasn't trending. And then I was like, why did this not do well? And that's because I didn't know how it worked. So, yeah.
Mm. Yeah, I think content creation, like any other art, it's like most of your content creation is just copying, like taking things from other people. It's like not. There's a bit of a theory out there that like no art is original. It's like because when you grow up and you're developing and you're getting
Yeah.
these influences and stuff, your content's just like it's like the product of all the different influences on you. It's not like you're coming up with
Yeah. But that's
anything
why I
brand
would say
new.
it depends what you like define original as,
Mm.
because I feel like influence plays a big part of it. And if you need influence to create original content, I would still consider that original because
Yeah,
like you can't say, you know, for example, your videos or my videos just because if somebody recreated that through the influence through our content web, they would be as successful. It simply doesn't work like that,
yeah.
you know.
When you were talking about twomad being controversial later on, that's another thing about content creation that's kind of weird a bit. When you make
Yeah.
videos and they become outdated, like the talking points are outdated or circumstances change, you might have brought up something that's not applicable anymore or it becomes more controversial or something. It's hard to shake that off, kind of. A lot of the time things follow you
Mm.
around, and I mean, with your video, it would be easier because it's very old, and a lot of your Plants vs Zombies audience wouldn't have watched it or remembered it. But
Yeah.
it's a lot of content creation is really just like a snapshot of the time. I think twomad's dead right now. I think.
He died back in February, I think.
Yeah, that's insane.
Well, everyone like it felt like I was a celebrity. I got
Mm.
so many DMs from everyone in my personal life, people I didn't think knew about my channel.
Yeah,
So many people messaged me about he died, like because I guess they like saw my video and how much like how high of a quality of it was. They just knew me as the twomad guy.
okay,
So everyone was messaging me about, did you know twomad died? I was like, I was at work when I saw this. I
yeah,
was like, fuck, what the hell?
yeah. I mean,
It was a crazy feeling, but
a lot of the time that kind of stuff just comes out of nowhere, like when you least expect it. So I was right in saying
yeah.
that your twomad video was kind of like your first like breakthrough, I guess.
Of course,
With
yeah.
other people knowing about your channel and stuff, I don't know. Some people prefer to keep it like quiet and not tell many people about it. Some people like tell everyone. Where do you kind of stand in that?
With what?
With like having people in your personal life know about your YouTube, or like your YouTube life and your personal life kind of crossing over. Like, well, obviously you made a video about your
Um,
family, so
yeah, I mean, I don't really care, to
mm,
be honest. Like, I've been open to everybody I talk about. Like, this is what I do. I enjoy this. And it's been like that for a while. I mean, only until recently I can consider myself like a full-time creator because this is what I'm doing at the minute. But before then, it was like a big hobby, and
mm,
that's all I spoke about. Because like when people say, "What do you do?" I say, "I do this," and I was so proud of my work back then that I didn't care if they found it because I wasn't embarrassed.
yeah,
Like I treat myself as the viewer. Like if the video wasn't good enough for me to watch, then they shouldn't be watching it. You know what I mean? So when people brought it up, I like watched it. They were like, "That video was actually really good." And I was like, "I know." Like I will admit I do have quite a big ego, but that's like how I kind of get past the quality control through my own
yeah.
content. So
I mean, there's good ego and there's bad ego. Like, I can tell just by talking to you, like you're not like you don't have a bad ego. You're not like a prick or anything.
I appreciate that. Yeah.
With me, at first I didn't like telling people about it. I think in high school I kind of had like a pretty low self-esteem probably. But another part of it, it wasn't just about that. It was also about I didn't really want to be known to new people I meet. I didn't want to meet someone and be like, oh, I do YouTube and everything, and then be known as the YouTube guy. I wanted to just be me. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, like, if you meet someone and they're like, oh, what do you do for work? It's either I say I'm unemployed or I say that I do YouTube. I'm going to say I do YouTube. Yeah. And just by doing that, it's kind of like, I don't really care as much anymore. Like, I'll tell people. Like, I bumped into a childhood friend of mine that I hadn't seen in, like, God, like 10 years probably. Like, a friend from primary school or elementary school, whatever you call it, who I hadn't seen since high school started. And I was just like, you know what, screw it. I'm just going to tell him, like, I have a YouTube channel and everything. Like, it's not something that I guess I've kind of shifted my perception from it's something I have to hide to it's something I can be proud about. Like, I should give myself more credit for that kind of stuff. And I think you do that. So, I was stalking your old community posts to prepare for this interview. And I saw one where you were wearing a name tag that said food and beverage. Assistant. So what was that job like, if you don't mind me asking?
It's like I'm talking to Nardwar or something. So I did retail, was a waiter for 2 years and a bit, and I hated it. I think by the end of working, I was on the brink of depression and, you know, nothing serious because it'd be quite immoral to say, especially on a podcast like this, but I wasn't very happy with my life. Let's just put it that way. And it was something I had to do to make money. I wasn't happy with where I was. I was still doing YouTube as a hobby back then. And one day I decided to just quit because I couldn't take it anymore. Yeah. And then I kind of dove headfirst into this and said, screw it, let's see if I can do it for real. And here we are.
Yeah, well, that's one of the good things about being young. You can do those kind of things. Like, when you're an adult, it's like you can't make a massive career change or take any big risks like that because you're just going to go homeless or something. But when you're young, you have your parents supporting you. You have that kind of safety net. I worked at McDonald's for about a year before I did YouTube, and I can relate to you a lot about I just did not want to be there. Like, I was just there to make some money, and it's like I guess a good part is looking at the bright side, working jobs like that, like retail, fast food and stuff. It's like, I can appreciate, I'm sure you're the same, but I can appreciate content creation more now that I've been through that. It's like, I can see this is so much better than those other jobs that I could be doing. It puts it into perspective how fortunate you are to be in a position where, I mean, this is the last question I was going to ask you, which you kind of touched on before, which ties into what I was saying basically. So you said you do YouTube full time. So
currently, yes.
So what's your working and studying situation and stuff like right now?
I'm on a gap year. From university.
Oh yeah, you told me about this.
And I came to that decision with my course leader, and he agreed. He said, "Yeah, that's a great idea, and if it doesn't work out, you can just come back." And the goal is to not come back, really.
Yeah.
The goal is to just stay far away from it. So that's why I put effort into my videos every day and just keep grinding.
I mean, that's really nice of him, because I think a lot of the time there's a bit of a stigma against taking that risk and going into content creation and stuff. It's not seen as like a very safe thing to do. So I think that's really like, it's very humble of him to
I had to give him like
support you.
He wasn't on board straight away. I had to give him some sort of like,
you had to like serenade him.
Yeah, like kind of give him like my stats really. Like you can sense this part when I say this. Like, he was like, "Oh, how much are you making?" Like, because he was saying like, "Oh, people are like, I've had people like this before, and they've made like, you know, $800 and stuff, and then they have a few subscribers, but like, how much are you making at the minute?" And bleep this part. I was making like a few months ago like for YouTube, and he was like, "Okay, fair enough. That's more than me," and he that's what he said. And at that time, when I was about to drop out, I had like 50,000 subs, and I told him that, and he said, "Okay. I mean, if you think your niche," and he spoke it like through YouTube terms, "if you think your niche has enough content for you to keep going, and you won't die out, and you know your channel won't fizzle out, yes, do it." And that was the last bit of the confirmation I needed to really take this on full time.
Yeah. Well, I'm studying full time and doing YouTube like when I can, like on weekends, like when I'm not at uni. I can't imagine that making that jump. Like it seems like a very big decision. How is your kind of like, how are you feeling in that moment? And were you like very confident in it? Were you kind of like reluctant, like I'm doing really well right now, but I don't really want to take this risk? Or were you just like, I'm grabbing this opportunity and I'm seizing it?
I think he did try to ground me a little bit and like try and, you know, sit me down to the real world in a way. It'd be like, will this keep going or will this stop? And I feel like I'm just such an ambitious, optimistic person that I feel like that is not a possibility. Not for me, not in my
Yeah.
lifetime, you know? Like my content board, you won't be able to see it. I can send a screenshot, but like it's filled to the brim.
Do you want
with
me to show it on
ideas.
screen
And
if you
even,
send a screenshot? Oh,
yeah,
actually, that
sure.
might
I mean, I'm gonna
spoil a lot
send
of stuff.
yeah, I can just I can pixelate it.
Okay,
And you
yeah,
can
yeah,
just see how
sure.
much text fills up the board.
Yeah.
But like I have so many ideas, and that's because of how seriously I take this position. You know, not many people get to do what we do,
Mm.
especially full time, because like there's a hobby of doing this and like being successful, and then there's full time committing every bit of time to it.
Yeah.
So I just feel like I'm such a confident person. I wouldn't let this opportunity go. Now that I've achieved what I've been going for
Yeah.
all these years, I have to keep it going. Not only for
Yeah.
me, but for my community, my family, everyone.
There is a lot of risk involved, but the reward, I mean, it seems like
Huge
you've
reward. Yeah.
decided the reward, the potential reward way outweighs that. Like sometimes
Yeah,
in life you have to take these risks. About the ideas and stuff.
definitely.
I do my ideas like digitally, not on an actual physical board. I think that's really neat. I might copy you. I have like
Please do. I mean,
I have multiple
bro, honestly,
pages. Yeah.
I was just gonna say, honestly, having an IRL whiteboard either on your wall, like my whiteboard's pretty big, like it's just it takes up half the wall.
So it's like a
Having a
classroom there.
whiteboard, honestly, it's weird. Like having that real life space to think and brainstorm, it makes such a difference than just writing on a computer, because you have to wake up and see that idea every day. And then if you see something in a video, you go straight to your whiteboard and write it down. It makes you such a more creative person. Having those ideas out, in real life, something you have to like look at every day and wake up to, that really helps your creativity.
Yeah.
It's something that like, it's almost like an instruction. Like there's the video idea. You have to make that because you know that's good. Or even if it's just like a single word that I can make into a video idea later on in the channel. It's such a like, I've had my friends, like I've convinced one of my good friends online, he does YouTube, a ghost place. He just hit 100k. He has I told him to get a whiteboard before he hit 100k, and like he came up with like his most recent videos were all from the whiteboard. Like they got like over 1 million views and stuff. Like he's been producing some bangers just because of his IRL stuff. Another friend I have, Division, he does YouTube as well. He's been using his whiteboard and getting different ideas. Like it just lets you like all of your creative juices out into the real world.
Yeah.
It's such a game changer, honestly.
Are
I don't know who was
these?
inspired by to get it, but
Yeah, well,
yeah.
I usually do stuff like that except for uni and not for like YouTube. I should probably
But that's
do
the
like
thing.
when I go to uni, I'm taking notes in my book with pen and paper and everything, and it's like every single other person in the lecture is using their iPad and Apple Pen and whatever. I don't know. I'm just old school like that,
Yeah.
but not with the content creation for some reason. These YouTuber friends you're talking about, did you meet them before YouTube and everything, or did you meet them through YouTube?
Through YouTube.
Okay.
So one of my closest friends online, Ghost Place,
Mm,
I was at 2,000 subs and he was at 100.
yeah.
And I found him through a video. I can't remember all of his videos. It was something to do with like beating all the FNAF games in 24 hours, right? It was a very ambitious video idea. And we had a very similar style of editing at the time. And I was like really into it. So I left a comment. It only had 100 views. So he's able to like reach out to me. We got speaking on Discord. And like 2 years later, we're now like very good friends and we've been featured in each other's content.
Nice.
And now he's got 100k. I've got like 70 whatever k. Like we've been growing together. It's crazy. And like it was weird because I had 2,000 subs, he had 100, and then he overtook me. And now I'm climbing my way back and I'm going to try and overtake his ass again.
Yeah. Okay. So that's a little bit of extra motivation. So it's like kind of like
Yeah,
accountability there. That's another thing. Having other friends who also are content creators. I don't know about you, but for me, it helps a lot because when I was saying before how content creation is very lonely by nature. It's
Yeah.
like, I mean, physically, you're sitting in your room and you're editing for hours and hours in front of your computer. Whereas with
Yep.
other jobs, it's like you're going into your shifts. You have a bunch of
Talking to your
coworkers you can
coworkers,
talk
stuff
to and
like that. Yeah,
everything.
yeah,
Um, this is kind of unrelated, but
yeah. If
how
you
you're
work
talking
in,
about how you have a
yeah.
group of like YouTuber friends and stuff, that kind of reminds. Have you heard about Mr. Beast's like story?
His initial story, maybe. I mean, I watch like some of bits about him here and there.
Mm.
I didn't really know too much about him, but like, there's a lot of like, it's confusing. There's a lot of false allegations.
Yeah.
There's some true
Oh,
stuff.
I
I
just
don't.
mean like
I kind of just.
his like coming to fame and everything. Apparently, when he was
Oh, I
first
was
starting
there for
out,
that. To be fair.
yeah, I think when he was first starting out, I think I remember he had like a group of friends he met online, and they were all like aspiring YouTubers, and apparently they would just like
Right.
get on VC like every single day and just grind out content creation and sharing ideas and like keeping each other accountable and stuff. I think
Yeah.
I guess that kind of sounds like what your experience has been.
Yeah, and I mean, me and Ghostplace will be like, and even Division,
Mm.
everybody else like that I work with, we all just be cool sometimes and get our editing done or whatever else.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's smarter to not be calling when we've got to do a voiceover or like listen to the audio for mastering, but most times I will be talking whilst editing just to like, fill that empty void of being
Yeah.
isolated, I suppose.
Do you
So
listen
yeah,
to music while editing, or is it too distracting?
I listen to music probably 80% of the day. Like
Wow.
the only time I
What was
don't
your
listen to
Spotify
music
Wrapped
is
like?
when it was like nearly 80,000 minutes, which isn't like an extraordinary amount,
Yeah.
but
I'll put that into
it's
context.
a
I had
lot.
14,000, I think. So,
I think there's like 500,000 minutes in a year.
mm.
So 80,000 is nearly a fifth of the year
That's
listening to music.
crazy. So you
Yeah,
must have spent like a good chunk of your waking hours listening to music.
yeah, it's even weirder because like when I say I listen to rap, I only listen to rap.
Yeah.
Like I've got like 1,200, let me look, I think I got 1,200 songs added on my Spotify.
Yeah.
Every single one of them is rap.
How long
Like
is the average rap song? Like, because I'm assuming it would just be like a couple of
it
minutes, like pretty
varies.
short. Okay.
Some of them are like 1 minute long,
Mm.
depending on the artist. Some of them are 3 or
Okay.
5 or 7.
Well, that's
But
not that
like,
different to my kind of songs. Like, I listen to metal a lot, and the songs are usually around like 4 minutes. I
yeah,
only have like a few hundred songs in my playlist, so I don't know. When did you start listening to music?
yeah, like properly through Spotify, maybe like 5 years ago. But I
Okay.
never had an account until like a premium account until like 2 years ago.
Mm.
I was just like binging off the free apps that I could download music on because I was like trying to scrounge for money and whatever else.
Oh yeah.
But yeah,
Well, the
now
Spotify
it's not a
subscriptions
problem.
can be painful sometimes. I think there's a student rate. Like I think I pay like
That's what
six
I've been
dollars a
using
month.
the last 2 years.
Have you
Yeah,
like not
same.
told them that you've stopped going to uni? I'm gonna cut that out. Wait, should I leave it in or
We're
cut
gonna
it
try
out?
and abuse.
Surely they won't
Spotify
watch
gonna
that.
watch this.
Yeah.
No, it'll be fine.
Okay.
It's
So.
a gap year. So I'm still technically a student. So.
Mm. So before we move on to the last question, so what we've learnt about Brando today, he started making Plants vs Zombies content because of Among Us, and he's defrauding Spotify. So
Okay.
with that said,
What a wrap up.
final question:
Yeah.
what's the future of your channel? What do you see happening next? Like I don't know, whatever time frame you think, like next year, next 5 years. Where do you see yourself headed?
That is so difficult. At the minute, I'm just taking each day as it comes. The goal is maybe full-time streaming if it comes to it. I don't know how many more years I have of this over edited crazy nonsense I have in me. I feel like streaming is a lot more laid back, and like through
Yeah.
growing that for a couple of years, I could just switch to variety content and move away from PVZ. But for now, that's what I'm doing, mainly PVZ. But as the years go by and my community builds up, I feel like they'll grow up with me and they'll just be more invested in me rather than what I'm playing.
Mm-hmm. So what kind of like what game do you, if you had to do variety content, what other games do you think you'd branch out to?
Anything that's new and upcoming.
Okay.
Everything that's like a trendy streamer game, all the new stuff that everyone's playing.
Yeah,
It
and
wouldn't
well,
be
that's the thing.
anything
Like I was
old.
saying before, it's very hard to come up as a YouTuber, in my opinion, when you're doing the stuff that everyone else is doing. But you're fortunate enough to be in a position where you've already gotten to a point where you have an audience, you're successful. So if you do something that other people have done, instead of being that YouTuber with 1 subscriber or 0 subscribers trying to make videos on games that everyone else is playing, people are going to watch you play these games. Like, you've made a name for yourself. You've put yourself out there and everything. You've got that personality out there. People are going to watch it for you. And
Yes,
I think that's a very wholesome note to end this podcast on. So thank you very much, Brando, for being the first guest, making history on the pod.
Of course.
Any last words, any plugs you want to get in there?
Check out my content if you're interested in it. You might like it. If you don't, that's perfectly fine. But apart from that, I hope you're having a good day today.